Hi, I'm back. So, in the past, I've been talking about mind time, perspectives, the archetypes. What I'd like to touch on today is how we can use mind time to better understand our relationships. Now, we all have relationships of one kind or another. I'm not just talking about our romantic or spousal relationships. What I'm talking about is our relationships to all other people around us. Now, of course, our thinking, which produces our archetype, is trying to go somewhere. It's trying to do something. We're trying to bring value to the world. We're trying to either understand the world, or we're trying to organize the world, or we're trying to change the world. And when we meet other people, we can often come into conflict inadvertently, because where we're trying to go in our thinking and where they're trying to go in their thinking are at odds with each other. So by having this language, this framework of understanding our differences and understanding how they're all part of one thing, we can quickly identify where it is that someone's trying to go to and how it is that potentially they come into conflict with where we're trying to get to. Let's take a brief example. As I've mentioned before, I use future thinking predominantly in the way that I perceive and go about navigating my world. If I'm speaking with our chief scientist, who's a strong past thinker, then you can see how his need for certainty and my need for opportunity, well, they don't exactly meet very easily. However, if I know that his past thinking is trying to achieve certainty, then what I can do is change the way that I actually navigate myself. I can suspend my need to convince him of the opportunity I'm seeing, and I can listen to his questions and what it is that he needs to know and understand in order to be able to listen to me equally well. Likewise, as he is listening to me, he can arrest his need for the facts, the details, the information, and he can simply accept that I'm inspired, that I see something that is perhaps not there, not yet at least. But what I'm trying to do is to recount what could be there. And by listening to my recounting of the possible, he can go away and start to think about what is actually real about it and what can be done. Now, every one of us in our relationships can do the same thing. We can use an understanding of our own archetype, that is how we blend these three different aspects of thinking, and our understanding of the other archetypes and identify someone's, and by doing that, avoid the collision. We simply can be open to the value that somebody else brings. And in so doing, we arrest the need that they have to convince us of their point of view, because now they're being heard. And by being able to focus on their point of view first, then we can actually have them relax, and in so doing they will be open to listening to ours. What kind of relationship we're in really doesn't matter. The key to remember is this: we're in relationship with other people, and everybody has value to bring. And everyone's value can be understood as being the combination of these three basic perspectives of thinking: past, present, and future. And by being open to listening to them, by being open to understanding their value, all different relationships, whether it's with a romantic relationship, whether it's with a colleague at work, a boss at work, with a neighbor, with community, in all relationships, this simple framework, this simple language and understanding gives us a depth of insight where people feel seen, they feel recognized, they feel heard. And we remove the conflict, which more often than not comes from trying to enforce or convince people of our point of view. By recognizing that every point of view is valid and that they are all points of view within one framework of thinking, well, then we can start to understand that that value can add value to us, just as we can add value to them.